Hey everybody, it's me, Flyersguys, and welcome to another edition of the Flyersguys Top 10. I'm your host, Flyersguys. In my last video, I counted down my top 10 favorite Philadelphia Flyers games of the 2013-2014 season. Today's episode I skipped all the way to the 2019-2020 season. And in today's episode, I'm going to be talking about the really unusual 2019-2020 Philadelphia Flyers season. This would be the last season that they would get into the playoffs. But the technicality was there were no fans in the arena for the 2020 playoffs due to the pandemic. The last real playoff appearance for the Philadelphia Flyers, in my opinion, occurred in 2018 against the Pittsburgh Penguins. So let's do a little backstory, shall we? At the end of the 2018-2019 season, the Flyers just barely missed the playoffs that season. After losing a crucial game to the New York Islanders on the road, the Flyers' playoff hopes would officially be dashed. During the off-season, the Flyers will work at making the team better. In the 2019-2020 series, this is where it really gets good, because this is the last best Flyers season, in my opinion. So without further ado, I'm going to be counting down my top 10 favorite Philadelphia Flyers games of the 2019-2020 season. Okay, starting off the countdown at number 10, and I have two picks for number 10. The first pick, part 1 of number 10, Philadelphia Flyers, Chicago Blackhawks, from October 4th, 2019. This game took place overseas in Prague, Czechoslovakia, as the Flyers took on the Chicago Blackhawks. The Flyers absolutely impressed in the first game of the season, taking to the Blackhawks and defeating the Blackhawks 4-3. Now, part 2 of number 10, Philadelphia Flyers, New Jersey Devils, on October 9th, 2010. What a great game for the Philadelphia Flyers on October 9th, 2019. The Philadelphia Flyers took it to the Devils and dealt the Devils a 4-0 shutout loss, as the Flyers absolutely gave the Devils a beating in front of a sold-out Wells Fargo Center in Philadelphia. The crowd was crazy that night, and there was hope in the air for this Philadelphia Flyers team as they defeated the Devils 4-0. So number 10, Philadelphia Flyers, Chicago Blackhawks, from October 4th, 2019. the Philadelphia Flyers, New Jersey Devils, on October 9th, 2019. At number 9, Philadelphia Flyers, Columbus Blue Jackets, on October 26th, 2019. The Philadelphia Flyers were down 3-0 in this game, and the Flyers were able to tie it up in 3-3. But after pulling the goalie for the extra attacker, the Flyers tied it up at 3-3. In the third, Kevin Hayes with a huge, sure-handed goal. Flyers scored 1-2. Flyers scored 4. The Flyers scored 4 unanswered goals against the Columbus Blue Jackets in the third period as the Flyers defeated the Columbus Blue Jackets with a come-from-behind victory 7-4 as the Flyers turned the tables on the Columbus Blue Jackets. So, at number 9, Philadelphia Flyers, Columbus Blue Jackets, on October 26th, 2019. At number 8, Philadelphia Flyers, Montreal Canadiens, from October 30th, 2019. It was a come-from-behind victory for the Flyers, as the Flyers went into overtime, and Ivan Provorov, with a nice move around Jeff Petrie. Provorov goes in, puts the puck at the back of the net, puts the puck into the back of the net, and the Flyers win 4-3 in overtime over the Montreal Canadiens. So number 8, Philadelphia Flyers, Montreal Canadiens, from November 30th, 2019. At number 7, Philadelphia Flyers, Ottawa Senators, from December 21st, 2019. This game was a back and forth contest. The Flyers were down in the third period, but were able to tie it up. The game went into overtime, and then in a shootout, as the Flyers defeated the Ottawa Senators 5-4 in the shootout. So at number 7, Philadelphia Flyers, Ottawa Senators, for December 21st, 2019. At number 6, Philadelphia Flyers, Anaheim Ducks, for December 17th, 2019. This game was a great game. This was also the game where Flyers rookie David Koshka got a goal in the game as the Flyers defeated the Anaheim Ducks 4-1. So number 6, Philadelphia Flyers, Anaheim Ducks, from December 17th, 2019. At number 5, Philadelphia Flyers, New York Rangers, from December 23rd, 2019. This game was a huge game for the Philadelphia Flyers going into the holiday break. The Philadelphia Flyers played some damn good hockey. It's able to defeat the New York Rangers. In that game, Kevin Hayes, Travis Sanheim, and many others got the goals in the game as they defeated the New York Rangers on December 23rd, 2019. So number 5, Philadelphia Flyers, New York Rangers, on December 23rd, 2019. At number 4, Philadelphia Flyers, St. Louis Blues, from January 15th, 2020. This was a wild hockey game for the Flyers. As the Flyers were able to, the Flyers ran into overtime. And Jake Voracek with an amazing overtime game-winning goal gave the Flyers a huge win against the St. Louis, against last year's, against the 2019 Stanley Cup champions. So at number 4, Philadelphia Flyers, St. Louis Blues, on January 15th, 2020. At number 3, Philadelphia Flyers, Washington Capitals, on February 8th, 2020. This was an awesome game for the Flyers. Nick, all makes you real had a game. They're going to Syria had a goal. Giroux had a goal. A lot of players got a lot of points in this game. As the Flyers went on to defeat the Washington Capitals 7-2. A huge victory for the Philadelphia Flyers. In this game, they kept Alex Ovechkin off the boards as the Flyers defeated the Washington. As the Flyers defeated the Washington Capitals 7-2. So number 3, Philadelphia Flyers, Washington Capitals, for February 8th, 2020. At number 2, Philadelphia Flyers, New York Rangers, from March 1st of 2020. This game, the Flyers gave the Rangers all they could handle. It was a back and forth affair, but it was a dominating game for the Philadelphia Flyers. As they defeated the New York Rangers, the Flyers really ran on his hair in the month of March. So number 2, Philadelphia Flyers, New York Rangers, from March 1st, 2020. After this, the Flyers are number 1. The Flyers played some pretty good hockey in the month of March. Later that month, the pandemic hit the world, and everything shut down. On the day of the pandemic, first day of the pandemic, the Philadelphia Flyers would cancel their game against the Tampa Bay Lightning. We wouldn't see hockey until May or June of 2020. When the Flyers got into the playoffs, they beat the Rangers, they beat the Tampa Bay Lightning, and they beat Pittsburgh Penguins, I think. As the Flyers won the play-in round, the Flyers' first opponent in the playoffs will be the Montreal Canadiens. Flyers would eliminate them in the first round, and then the Flyers would move on to the second round against the New York Islanders. Due to the pandemic, hockey games will be played in 2 arenas. The Eastern Conference teams will play in Toronto, and the Western Conference teams will play in Edmonton. The Stanley Cup Finals between 2 teams will be decided in Edmonton. So here we go. This leads us to the number 1 pick on my countdown. And I'm going to say it right now, I'm picking every game in the 2020 Eastern Conference semifinals. Despite the outcome in this series for the Flyers, this was an entertaining This was an entertaining series between between two Metropolitan Division rivals. This was a fun matchup. The Flyers would win 3 games in the series in overtime. The Islanders, of course, at Game 7, and the Philadelphia Flyers would be eliminated at the hands of the New York Islanders. Despite this was a memorable playoff series. Despite the fact that there were no fans in the arena, this series, I don't know if you can disagree with me, but this series was a great series. And that's why I put this at number 1, because I want to show my respect to both of the teams, the Flyers and the Islanders, because these two teams put on one hell of a playoff showcase. After the playoffs, later that year, around 2021, I made friends with with an Islanders fan. And her name is Isles Girl 3. We developed a friendship because of hockey. And I'm truly glad that me and her have that friendship. I know that we're fans of two different teams, but we have a lot in common as hockey fans. We're both passionate about our hockey teams, win or lose, and we both love the game of hockey. This was a good series. All respect given to the Islanders and Isles Girl 3, and also the Flyers, because both teams played their hardest. Both teams put it all on the line, and that's what playoff hockey is all about. Guys, thank you for joining me here. Guys, I'll be right back to tell you about my next countdown song. And just like that, ends another countdown here on the Flyersguys Top 10. After the Flyers will be eliminated from the 2020 playoffs, Flyers hockey will not start until January of 2021. That season was a fever dream of disaster, as the Flyers had a horrible 2021, a horrible abbreviated 2021 season. After that, the Flyers have not made the playoffs in 5 seasons. It's been a 5-year drought for the Philadelphia Flyers. Let me go on at 6, considering what happens before this video comes out on YouTube. And on the last playoff series that took place with fans was in 2020. The pandemic had a huge factor in the Flyers season. Not only in 2020, but in 2021. Due to the strict pandemic policies, many players were not eligible to play for the Flyers, and would be out because of COVID protocols. This was the decade of the taxi squad. The Flyers did not make the playoffs in 2022, in 2023, 2024, or 2025. But The memories of that great series with the New York Islanders will always be a memorable season between two teams that put everything on the line. I hope that one day the Flyers get into the playoffs. Maybe after this video premieres on my channel, maybe by then the Flyers will be in the playoffs. So I want to do that. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe they will be in the playoffs after this video comes out on YouTube. And maybe they won't be in the playoffs. But hopefully, maybe they will this year. Maybe they will. I hope so. Could be an entirely different story by the time this video comes out. Guys, thank you for joining me here on the Flyersguys Top 10. I don't really know what I'm going to do for the next episode. But you'll just have to find out. You just have to find out in the next episode of the Flyersguys Top 10. I'll see you guys next time.